Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to episode number 208 of Video Games to the Max. I am your host, Sean Garmer, here with me, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Well, we're not just by ourselves for this episode because we're talking about our most anticipated games of 2020. And what a day to talk about it on the final day of 2019. Joining us here, Randy Isbelle.
Hello.
And Jens Dietrich.
Salutations.
All right, so yeah, we got plenty of 2020 games to talk about. If you missed it, we did our top 25 for 2019. The top 25 article on the website should be out there at some point, probably during this day. All this is out there. Also out there is our 2010-2012, looking back at the decade, the best games of those years. We'll keep doing that throughout January. Should have at least 3 more by the weekend, so that series will be continuing. And yeah, so man, 2020 literally upon us, guys. Are you excited? New systems, lots of crazy amounts of awesome games coming. 2020 looks like it's going to be a banger year.
No, I think the new systems aren't going to go well, at least for the first year or two, because launches never go well.
That'll be good stuff. There's always something at launch. And even if not, we'll just have better running versions of everything.
Let's hope for an Amped 4, you guys.
Since these are going to be more iterative, I think it'll be much easier to transition over. Yeah,
I mean, do you guys think that... Well, I should ask that question. Are you guys going to stand in line... order it on Amazon, whatever you're going to do? Are you getting a launch PS5 or Xbox Series X?
Yeah, of course, day one.
Yeah, if I can afford it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Marc. Money pending, yes.
Yeah, I'm same here. Money pending. I don't know because I doubt Harmonix is going to make another jump. I feel like Rock Band's probably going to be dead.
Don't be crazy. Yeah.
That was the whole reason. I'm gonna be honest. It's the whole reason I bought other than Master Chief Collection. The whole reason I bought an Xbox One. I didn't buy it launch. The reason I bought it first instead of the PS4 was because I had some feeling deep in my heart that there would eventually be another Rock Band, and I wanted my DLC to work, and I was right eventually.
What a heartbreak.
Yeah, it would have been... Because I know a lot of people that got it on the other system because they bought a PS4 and they were heartbroken that, Sony and Microsoft were not going to let that happen. So, yeah. And I have 2,500 songs, so yeah, I just didn't want to... I didn't want to lose all that. So, yeah, I have no idea, but... I mean, Halo Infinite being there at launch is very tempting. So, as we'll talk about. Well, let's get into some recent news first before we get into the extravaganza, since all of us have top 10 lists. A lot of them cross over, so it's not like we really have everybody, talking about 40 different games here. But there is some variety there. But just basically happened... not right before we recorded, but a few hours before we recorded, the Uncharted movie that has Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, a younger Nathan Drake, has lost its 7th director. Randy, I mean, as the Uncharted fan, are you excited at all about this movie? Do you care? And what do you think with all these directors?
No, it's just doomed. It's just give up. It's interesting that Tom Holland is supposed to play Nathan Drake. That's fine. I will always have my YouTube version of the Nathan Fillion Uncharted movie. That is the Uncharted movie for all I care.
Yeah, there's just nothing about Uncharted, like everything that makes Uncharted special and impressive as a game does not, like nothing about it translates into being anything more than just an average adventure movie of which we made like, God, how many 80s Indiana Jones knockoffs are there, you know? Like it would just be another one of those. I don't think it would really stand out as a movie. Like the whole thing of it is that it's a video game that's so incredibly cinematic. But a movie that's cinematic is not that interesting.
Yeah, it's not.
It worked for Assassin's Creed.
No.
No. Didn't work for Prince of Persia either.
And Mark just made your point, Jens. Good job.
I mean, I realized he was joking, but I couldn't let it stand anyway.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly...
There are so few good, and I'm using the term good loosely, but there are such few good video game movies anyways, so I don't want my favorite franchise to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, PlayStation Productions exists for this reason, so, you know.
None of these directors that were attached to it really filled me with confidence. I mean, like, David O. Russell is a good director, but I don't really see him as a... he
was a tad weird.
Yeah, Neil Berger, I wouldn't want. Seth Gordon, terrible. So, like, I just hope this doesn't happen, honestly.
Well, like, didn't Travis Knight, he directed something decent, didn't he?
I would have to look him up because I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
he did Bumblebee, that's it.
Yeah, Bumblebee,
okay.
yeah. And Sean Levy's doing Free Guy, which looks amazing.
Oh,
but...
yeah, Free Guy does look good. Travis Knight, he's from that animation studio. He worked on Kubo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, when he actually kind of filled me with a little confidence, because, I mean, Bumblebee may not have been the best movie, but it's still the most watchable Transformers movie ever made.
Yeah, I mean, and John Cena was in it, so you know it was golden.
All right, the one way, if it was Travis Knight, the one way I would have liked to see in Uncharted is just do it like a Leica animated movie.
I don't think they're gonna do all that. But you know, I think it'll eventually get made because PlayStation is on it, and they seem very gung ho about this, even in the statement that they make. So,
I imagine also, I mean, it already happened, but I imagine like the Tom Holland call might have gone if you don't give Spider-Man back to Marvel, I'm off Uncharted.
Oh,
you think this was just a thing for leverage? Like
no, I don't think it had anything to do with that. But I mean, apparently the Spider-Man, now that he's back in doing that, is also causing a problem, and that's why Travis Knight had to leave. But yeah.
Wait, so they're already, so Uncharted is already in the works, so it'll probably get made, right? It'll just be a horrible mess.
Yep.
Well, they just got to get a director, which they can't seem to hold on to because they have a screenplay written.
What's Brett Ratner up to these days, you guys?
Still trying to make Rush Hour 4, I guess. So. Maybe. Well, speaking of live action, Final Fantasy XIV also has a live action script finished, and that's also involved with the PlayStation Productions. So,
isn't this the second one? Because wasn't there some Japanese show about like a father and son bonding over Final Fantasy XIV?
Oh God, I just saw it. I can't remember now, but yes, there was a trailer for that. It almost got made, and it didn't.
Oh, I thought it did get made.
Yeah, I mean they made the trailer. I don't think the show got made.
Yeah.
So,
Who among us gives a fuck about Final Fantasy XIV?
I'll watch this if it was good. Because, it's Final Fantasy, but because they do have a story to go off of, they can do a season on each expansion. So it's
I can't wait until after the second episode when the world breaks apart, like Realm Reborn, and they have to reboot it entirely.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about this, at least more optimistic than Uncharted, because it's kind of like we were just talking about off air about The Mandalorian. It's just a cool setting that you can just do stuff in. You can kind of do whatever you want. Tell whatever little or big stories you want in a Final Fantasy XIV, show. Like, it doesn't even have to.
Yeah, and they can create who their main character is, because the main character is who you create it to be. So they can basically choose whoever they want.
Yeah, so it's a lot more flexibility for what you can do with it, and you can be much more creative with it, I think.
Yeah, supposedly like Final Fantasy VII almost got a TV show, and I could imagine how that would have been. So
it's. I mean, let's be real. The Final Fantasy game they should make a TV show as Theater Rhythm.
What the fuck? Well, they just have to have all of them show up and.
No, yeah, it's just a big dance. It's just a big cosplay dance off.
Mm-hmm. Celebrity judges.
I mean, I could already see them. Yeah, it's the Masked Singer of Final Fantasy instead. Why not? Why not do that? So, well, it's great that we have Randy on here to talk about this. So, the rest of the stuff is kind of old. So, sorry if it's like you're sitting there going, "Well, this is like from 2 weeks ago." Well, this is how really slow the news cycle gets when it comes around this time.
Too, so, yeah.
Resident Evil 3 Remake, apparently, according to the producers, is going to have way more changes than Resident Evil 2. Are you cool with that, guys? As Resident Evil 3 original players?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Upgrade it. Let's go.
Resident Evil 3, the original one, had let's say there were 10 buildings or 10 stores on a street. You could only enter 1 or 2 of them because the rest were blocked off with trash or something, or just garbage. So I imagine you'll be able to go into a lot more buildings and areas to explore and do stuff in.
Well, so okay, here's some of the things. So Dario Rosso apparently plays a much larger role in this game.
Everyone's favorite.
Carlos has been changed around to be more mature, supposedly. Obviously, we've seen Jill's. They changed her attire, even though you can use both of their original costumes as bonus outfits if you want.
Pre-order bonuses, I think.
Right. The Hunter is in the game, but it's been reimagined, so it doesn't look the same. And yeah, that it's 90% complete, so it should come out April 2020 like it's supposed to. None of that sounds like way too crazy, so I'm sure with what they did to Resident Evil 2 Remake, this should be just fine.
Yeah, I'm more curious what they're going to do with Nemesis now that they basically made Mr. X what Nemesis was supposed to be, where he's following you around all over the place.
Does he follow you the entire game then?
No, he has his own set pieces. But yeah, I'm curious if he's following you around a lot more. Obviously, he can blow up a lot more walls and stuff with his rocket launcher. So I'm more curious what they're going to do with that. The addition to more Dario stuff is fine. It was just kind of the same with Resident Evil 2, where Marvin played a bit more of a role than he does in Resident Evil 2. He's in one cutscene in the original, and here he played a bigger part. So that's what I expect for Dario. The other changes, just kind of come with the territory and it coming out in 2020 instead of 1998 or whatever that came out in. So I'm for it. I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, I know Marc's not ready for a possible Dino Crisis remake because the Dino Crisis name has been trademarked for a second time in nearly 2 years by Capcom. Go ahead, Marc.
Yeah,
I know you.
Dino Crisis 1 was bad. In fact, they were all bad.
That's what, but they can make them better. They can rebuild them.
The only way they can make it better is adding a jetpack.
There's people that apparently love this game so much they're freaking out when this trademark came out. So
it's a neat idea, but like Dino Crisis 1, like the reason the old Resident Evil games worked at all is because it's slow enemies for the most part. Like Dino Crisis had fast enemies that could like jump at you, so it really didn't work.
Well, it works with this technology, though. I mean,
yeah, I think that's why they're doing it. Is because Resident Evil 2 Remake did so well that they're like, okay, we can just keep remaking all of our old assets and make a buttload of money. It makes sense.
Where's the gritty Mega Man Legends reboot?
That's 2022, sir.
Yeah.
It'll happen. I mean, Capcom's already said it before that that's part of their plan, is they're gonna keep remaking things until it doesn't sell, basically.
I look for the eventual Resident Evil 2 remake.
God. Well, this time it's Ada Wong, starring Ada Wong the whole time.
Ada, come on.
Ada. So Telltale Games, of course, is not the same Telltale Games as before, but they showed off that they're doing Wolf Among Us 2 again, but they went back and actually said, hey, that stuff we had before, we're scrapping it. We're doing it from scratch with a new engine and everything else. Does this make you a little bit?
Well, they would have to, because if they tried to put out that old engine again, people would riot.
Yeah. I mean, also doesn't necessarily have a bunch. It has some of the same people, but not all of them. In fact, I think they had one of the writers that was like live tweeting the Game Awards, and she, like, you could see her distress as they announced that again, that she would be working on it. But I mean, I wonder if this means they're going to release it all as one game instead of doing the episodic thing.
They're still known for the episodic thing, and it still makes sense. Well, if it doesn't do well, then they'll have to put all their eggs in one basket. They could just cut it short.
Why would it not do well if you're using?
Because their last 8 games didn't do well.
Oh, but how much of that is from the engine that's so bad?
Yeah, but there's no hope. I don't think there's a lot of hope that this new engine's going to be good either.
And I think people burn out on them to some degree as well, in addition to the frustration with
wouldn't that make it more sense, though, to release it as one whole game then?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being, why not just have it be the binge model of playing episodic games? That doesn't make any sense, what I just said.
Yeah, like, I don't think people would, like, people like the episodic thing because it's done in chunk form. Like, if you're just going to sit down and play a 10-hour adventure game, people are going to, like, lose focus by the end of, like, episode, or hour 3 and never go back to it.
No, but I like a nice 10-hour adventure game.
Yeah, you do, but most people don't.
Well, I'm not, I mean, it's Wolf Among Us, so I don't really care anyway. I mean, I know that people like that game, but I don't really have much, tie to the Fables universe or anything like that.
I didn't have a tie to it either, but it's well done.
Yeah, neither did I.
If this was Game of Thrones Season 2, and I get to find out what the fuck happened at the Grove at the end of that game, then...
don't worry, that'll be next.
Oh, God.
It'll be that.
The more I could just forget about Game of Thrones, having a Telltale game, I could do with that. That game was boring. I don't know. I just like some of the other ones. Like, Tales from the Borderlands was great. Game of Thrones, which is like coming out at the same time, was bad.
Wait, it's funny because you didn't play Borderlands 3, but Borderlands 3 really shits on Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh man!
It makes Vaughn an incredibly you just want to shoot him in the face.
How can you mess that up?
I didn't even recognize Vaughn, like the character, until I read up on him. And I was like, oh yeah, wow, what happened to him?
Well, mysteriously, this happened. I think around Christmas time, or I can't remember exactly. But Sony just randomly announces, Oh yeah, we've added a back button attachment to the DualShock 4. So now there's 2 buttons that you can map to whatever the heck you want, and it has an OLED screen. And it's like basically replicating the paddles on the Elite controller.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if people want that, it's nice. But
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't think Jens cares.
I do care. I'm a huge fan of the Elite controller. I love the pedals. I actually bought both Elite controllers. I bought the new one as well. But yeah, I don't like clicking in the sticks to do things. I don't like L3 and R3. So putting it on the back and being able to use my middle finger to trigger those buttons, I think is awesome. And I'll be buying that as soon as it comes out.
January 23rd, you can buy it for $30.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a lot cheaper than the Elite controller, which is nice.
That's true. Well, the Elite controller, there's all sorts of benefits to the Elite controller, but you know, I love the PlayStation controller, so I'm happy with this add-on.
Well, yeah, I mean, for an accessibility thing, I think this is great for people that need it or could use it. I think Sony should do more in this department, because when Microsoft came out with that controller that was like, not really a controller, but like anybody could use it if you can't hold a controller or whatever. The accessibility, I don't remember what they called it, but it's that white one that looks like it has like wheels or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was like such a great thing. Like they didn't have to do that at all, but they did, and Sony should do more in that department too. More people should be able to play games regardless of physical limitations. Randy, any thoughts on the back?
My only question is timing with the new system coming out. I'm in the camp that thinks that this will come standard on PS5 controllers. Maybe not the whole thing where you can change what the back 2 buttons do on the controller, but everything that I've read is showing that you're supposed to be able to use DualShock 4s on your PS5 when that comes out.
Right,
so
just like
this is just an accessory to make those work even better. I have no problem. I've never used an Elite controller, so I don't know about those. The only thing I worry about is with that button in the middle being right there, and you just click it and it changes what they do, is if I'm playing a really intense part and reach back to hit that button, and I hit the middle button and change what those 2 buttons do in the middle, I'm going to be screwed.
I'm sure there's going to be some solution for that, or like you've got to hold it for a second or something.
Yeah, where it locks or something. But that's the only thing I can think of, and it's more of a joke. Just playing a game and losing it, and all of a sudden my button's not doing what I want it to do. Look back there, oh, it's square now. Oh, that's okay. I got it. But yeah, I think it's more of a get people ready for what will be on the PS5 controller.
Yeah, that could be a case too. That could certainly just come standard with the PS5. We'll have to see. I mean, good that Sony's doing the same thing like Microsoft, where you can use your previous generation controllers with the new one. So that's good that we're seeing that going forward too. And finally, since Witcher is all the rage right now because of the Netflix show, which is apparently one of their highest rated shows ever, or I don't know, viewed, I guess, because they don't do ratings. CD Projekt Red has inked a new deal with the Witcher author on, I don't know how to say his first name.
Andrzej Sapkowski.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for helping with the pronunciation there. So if you remember, they've been having a dispute for a while about he feels like he deserves more money.
That's the funny part.
And
so
technically he doesn't, because this is not the first time this has happened before, where somebody decides to take the all lump sum instead of royalties over a period, and then he realizes, oh shit, I would have made a lot more money if I would have just taken the royalties, and now he wants back in the action. And for a long time, CD Projekt Red was like, no, we don't owe you anything. You signed what you signed. And they've gone back now and basically said that this reaffirms the existing title to the Witcher intellectual property, and this basically clears up any problems we had before, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about this, Jens? I mean,
I'm
You think
so
we get any
happy
more
to
books
see
out
them.
of this or anything?
Oh, he's probably working on something. I mean, I'm a Sapkowski fan, but I'm also a CD Projekt Red fan, and it has pained me to see them kind of trash each other the last few years. I mean, like Sapkowski seems to he will go on interviews and talk about how they're ruining his character and stuff, which I don't agree with at all. But you can tell it's just from the bitterness of the fact that, he didn't really think that video games were going to, he didn't believe in the medium. He thought,
Well, he didn't
like,
believe in the not just the medium, but he didn't believe that The Witcher would make it as a game because CD Projekt Red was kind of unknown at the time.
So he had no faith in it to begin with. He made a bad deal, and then he was pissed off about the fact that he made a bad deal and just trashed him for years, which I didn't like seeing at all. So I was worried that The Witcher 3 might be the last Witcher game. I'm super happy to see them bury the hatchet, or at least come to some kind of amicable agreement, because it means that I don't have to feel conflicted, like I have to choose sides anymore between them.
Anything, Mark?
Yeah, about that. I mean, I don't really care about him necessarily, but his bitterness always is like, I wanted more money. It's like, well, then you should have been a better businessman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
And I forget the other author who's slamming him for like, oh, there's the Metro guy. He was like, well, don't be a dumbass then. Like,
yeah. But, it's not just, Sapkowski was not just trashing them for the money thing. It's not just like they screwed me over on money. It's also, he seems to have disagreements with the creative vision, or at least,
well, the game actually has like one or two brown people in it, so that's what I don't think he likes.
Wow. Okay.
No, like those books are like really like very not diverse. Let's just put it like that.
He comes from a very undiverse European country. So
yeah, exactly.
He's writing what he knows. It's not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call somebody racist for writing something that kind of conforms to their culture in which they, came of age. But whatever.
Well, and lastly, before we get to talking about our games of 2020, Xenosaga HD Collection apparently, according to Katsuhiro Harada, had actually progressed to the remasters plan for Bandai Namco, and it failed in profitable market analysis, meaning that they thought that it wouldn't make any money, so compared to what they would have to spend on making them, which you got to remember these games, Xenosagas, are basically half the game is all cutscenes, so it would cost them a heck of a lot more than they would make, so they did not.
Were they thinking about, like, not just up-resing? I guess you can only up-res to some degree with some of these, very low-resolution cutscenes, pre-rendered cutscenes.
Well, yeah, they'd be remastering them. So, but you're remastering from the PS2, so...
Yeah, that's like a lot of remastered games from the PS2. It's like, okay, everything looks great because it's the game assets being up-resed or rendered in 4K even, but then you get to the cutscenes and it's like the cutscenes look like the old cutscenes. Except worse because the resolution scaling is never quite right. So it's...
But I think all the cutscenes for Xenosaga was in-engine. So I don't think that they would have to... But even then, you're talking about 3 long-ass games. So that's probably why. And also, it's weird because they had a Xenosaga 1 and 2 on the DS that never got translated either. So
in-engine cutscenes should be a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, but I can understand, like, that's a lot of game to have to up-res and make sure it works and all that stuff. And it sucks because I really like those games back on the PS2, but... Oh, well.
I'm a big fan of the Yasunori Mitsuda soundtracks for those, so I've always wanted to play them. I was actually kind of looking forward to them. That's a bummer.
Yes, huge bummer. So, well, maybe some other time it will get brought up again and it'll pass the next time. Who knows? But alright, so let's get on to talking about our most anticipated games of 2020. Obviously, everybody listening will have their own, so... hey, feel free to send us your most anticipated games, and, on Twitter or whatever. But these are ours. Some of these are going to repeat, so we'll just talk about them all at once, and then, anybody that has one that's separate, we can just go from there. So, for me, I'm going Jens. You have Deadly Premonition as your number 2 most anticipated game. I have it kind of much lower on mine. I know how much of a big Deadly Premonition fan you are, so.
Yeah, I haven't really seen. I'm staying fairly blind on it. I'm not going to really.
There's no.
They haven't shown anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
They showed that one trailer, and that was it.
I haven't even seen that. I don't want to be. That's a game that I know I'm going to play it when it comes out. And so I don't need to be sold on it at all. But yeah, I just want to see what the hell Swery does with it. The continuing, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be fun. Like, just getting to see what Swery does with this on the new consoles and everything. Will it actually come out this year? We'll see that too. So, Randy, you have Halo Infinite as your number 10. I have it as my number 3. I'm a huge, huge Halo fan. So, like I mentioned, that was one of the things that is tempting me to, well, do I just keep on with my Game Pass on PC and not get the Series X for a while and see how that goes? Or do I just get a Series X? But, man, this is supposed to be as much of a reinvention of Halo as it is a Halo 6, and I'm all for that just to see what they do with it. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the few games that we know that's coming out in late 2020. So that window will get a lot more crowded as the year goes on and E3 happens and stuff. But I'm with you. I was a big Halo fan, like early on, 2 and 3 especially, and have kind of fallen off the series. I have the Master Chief Collection, but I've only played it a little bit. But it's one of those, I mean, especially if they kind of go back to their roots or they try different things or whatever they are able to work. I'm curious about it. I don't know if I'm ever going to play it, but I'm very curious about what they do with the series.
I mean, after they totally butchered the story for Halo 5, they kind of had to. So, yeah, this is sort of a necessity as much as it is, okay, well, you've had all this time to be away from the Halo series. What do we do now? I just really hope that they nail it with this, because it's, again, this could really be another big boom for Microsoft if they've spent these last few years really trying to be consumer first. Now can we nail it with the games? And I think this is the one that really has to hit.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Go on.
I have my number 10 disaster report for Summer Memories.
Really?
Which I'm sure is a game everyone else is itching to play as well.
Okay, hold on. What the there has been a disaster report 1, 2, and 3. What the heck is this?
I think the first 2 came over from Japan, but I never actually played them. But it's a series about, like, you go into, like, you're a character, and you come into a city, and, like, a big disaster happens, like an earthquake, or usually an earthquake, let's be real. And you basically have to survive and do a bunch of quests for people in order to get, like, new gear and outfits and stuff. That's kind of about it.
Yeah, I've only seen Let's Plays of these games, but they do seem neat. I didn't realize there was a new one coming, but I'll probably play that.
It's out in Japan. The reviews aren't great. Like, they're like, it's too faithful to the original ones, and it's like, well, yeah. I mean, it's a very niche series, so I mean, like, I think about, like, Deception 4. It's like, yeah, that was very much like the old ones. Like, what do you want?
Right.
It's kind of a goofy game. Like, you can... Yeah, it's just very weird. But you're trying to, like, save people and, kind of... I wouldn't say form a community, but, partner up with people and stuff like that. Like, We'll see if it actually comes out over here. I mean, if they said it will, but we'll see. But if it does come out, I'd like to play it or give it a shot.
Well, Jens, why are you so excited for Destroy All Humans, the remake?
Oh, I mean, it's just because I have strong nostalgic feelings for Destroy All Humans. It's been, that was 2005, so, it's been 15 years since that original game. The sequels are all terrible. I guess the second one is okay. But Path of the Furon was awful. So I'm just hoping that this remake is going to recapture what made Destroy All Humans so fun back in the day, which is kind of like reverse Redneck Rampage, almost, with a similar sense of humor, which I always enjoyed. I just like wrecking, the White House and then abducting people and just running around being a murdering alien. It's a really enjoyable kind of sandbox destruction game, and I'm hoping that it'll be a good remake. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because of PlayStation Now, I'm actually finally playing Destroy All Humans for the first time. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice. Controlling the UFOs is fun, and you've got all sorts of weapons. You can kind of bowl things over. You can you're abducting, you're shooting rays, you're abducting cows. You're doing all the things that aliens do in old 50s sci-fi movies, and I really like that aesthetic also.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So for sure, when that comes out, we're gonna have to get Jens to be on the podcast to talk about it.
Oh, anytime, man.
I do want to make mention that really quickly. On the 17th of January, you're getting not only Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which nobody has on here.
I'll be forced to play that.
If we get a code for it, or you will.
I'm
probably get stuck with that. And hey, it might be okay.
Yeah, I had it on my list, and then I forgot about games that don't have an exact release date, and I got bumped. But we can play the Dragon Ball Z Goku storyline for the 58th time in a video game.
My concern is it's in 3D. There's been no good 3D Dragon Ball games ever.
Yep. I mean, you could probably say that for anime games that aren't fighting games as well. And when they tried it with the fighting game, what happened? Jump Force. Ugh. So, I mean, the other game that's coming out that same day, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, the remaster, I will so be getting that on day one. I'm excited that this is getting remastered. It's the game that I told Marc, I was like, if we get to the point where we're remastering this, the Switch has been doing well. And the Switch has been doing well, and we got this remaster. So, I'm super excited. Jens, I know you are sort of excited as well, or?
Which one? Sorry.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions getting.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I really like Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I'll be happily playing it again at some point. But it's kind of with that and Xenoblade. I mean, both of those I'm probably gonna buy them, but it'll be hard to prioritize them over new games that I haven't already experienced the story of.
I know, me too. I mean, I didn't get to I played a lot of it on the 3DS. I didn't get to play it on the Wii, so getting to see it on the big TV and seeing how Xenoblade Chronicles is gonna look.
Oh yeah, you didn't play those on Wii U?
I didn't play. I played Chronicles X. I didn't play Chronicles, which is only on the Wii. And I played it when it came to the new 3DS. So.
Yeah, I didn't play the 3DS port. I heard it wasn't great.
No, it's actually pretty good. Because that's what they made the new 3DS for, was to play that game. And it played pretty well, actually. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, of course, in a smaller way, the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC, just to be able to play as the characters that you should have been able to play as in their original game, but you know how that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, we don't get our vagina bones in Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yeah, that'll have to wait. So, one game that is the only game I think that is on all of our lists is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And yeah, I mean, it's not the whole game, but it's Midgar at least. And are you expecting that it's really gonna be what Square Enix is promising? That it's gonna fill an entire game and you're gonna be happy about it and not feel cheated?
I'm sure they'll give you all sorts of side quests and new content and stuff to do in Midgar. Like, I'm sure they'll blow that stuff up and make it substantial.
How fucked up do you think Keith Sith is going to look in that game?
Well, we won't know for what.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
But, dude, everything looks... I mean, the character designs, it looks absolutely gorgeous. So, I have confidence.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when they said it wasn't going to be turn-based and they were going to change the battle system. But seeing some of the videos, that looks amazing. And I'm actually okay with them expanding what they're doing here at the beginning and making just that opening Midgar section, its own game. Because there's a giant part of Midgar you don't even see.
You don't see most of it because there's supposed to be, I think there's like 8 sections, and you only ever see 2 of them.
Yeah, like I'm glad that we didn't do 8 reactor blow up sections. I'm glad that didn't happen, but you can still go to a couple of the other ones. I want to say with like the 2 you blow up 2, and then the one that you're in, and the one right over with the curly
like
guy.
section 6, and
so I think you see half of them, but there's a lot left that you can really get into. Obviously, they're gonna hit more on Sephiroth since you've seen him, so I'm super excited for this remake.
Yeah, I mean, just from all the screenshots we've seen and everything else, it's like, God, March 3rd cannot come fast enough for us to finally get to play this, But I just hope it's not something where all they do is just add extra quests and it kind of feels like you're just going round and round. If they do add in different sections of Midgar that we haven't seen, and it definitely does feel like a new game in an old setting, then sure, I think it's going to accomplish what people want. Alright, Jens, I mean, you're all excited for this System Shock remake.
Yeah, this one I've actually been following. Since they announced it like years ago. They announced this thing, and they just had like 2 little concept screenshots, like one of the inventory and one of just you using a computer. And it was just promising, the idea of taking the original System Shock, which is still probably the best of that style. What has basically become. Bioshock's kind of the spiritual successor to it, and so is Dead Space in a way. Dead Space was supposed to be a System Shock at some point. So you kind of know what to expect, right? It's like puzzle solving, hacking, some combat, some survival horror, first person, really, really strong narrative, lots and lots of environmental storytelling. It revolutionized, it really defined that genre of first person kind of, action RPG or whatever you might call it. And it has come a long way. I don't know if you guys have looked at some of the footage, but I mean, it looks gorgeous. It looks perfectly accurate to the original game. It's weird having so many remakes on my list that I'm looking forward to, but it really, this is just, it's the nostalgia bait for me, right? Where it's like a thing that was a huge game, one of the biggest games of my youth, kind of made to look modern, but maintaining everything that made it great. That is my hope. There.
Yeah, I think that's the thing when you're looking towards games for the next year is your mind goes to sequels or remakes because it's based on games that you've played before, like System Shock or Final Fantasy VII for a lot of us. So yeah, that's why I think you have a lot of remakes. I do too, is because that's what our brains are focused on, and then these other games that are going to come in and completely surprise us like we had.
But yeah, it's kind of
It's just
Well,
kind
you
of
know
how it
what you're
works,
getting
and that's why
into, right?
that's
Like
why
you know
2020
it's
is
not
so great.
gonna, you know it's not gonna fail you because you know what you're getting
Yeah.
into.
Well, you
Yeah.
hope you hope it's not going to fail you. There's times where it does. I missed System Shock on the first when it first came out. I tried to play it years and years later, but I don't think it has aged super well. But I know everyone that played it back in the day absolutely loves it. So I'm excited that it is getting remade and retooled for newer generation consoles and stuff. So I can finally play
Yeah.
it.
I
So
think
I'm
people who
ready.
people who grew up on the BioShock games or like something like Prey or Dishonored, you know, for them, I think System Shock is it's gonna feel like a very natural thing. It's not gonna feel like something that's like out of time or has aged badly because it really, you know, all those games now, especially that last Prey, really kind of follows System Shock pretty closely in a way. So people are used to that, I think now. And I think you're really going to like it, Randy. If you have never played it before, I think
Yeah,
it'll
I'm
be a
excited.
great way to get into that.
I wouldn't be excited for System Shock, but like all the behind the scenes drama, it's like scary. Like they like rebooted the thing twice already. Like
Sure.
like, what?
But I mean, look where it's gotten. I mean, it looks fantastic. It's the same. You know, you've got Vampire the Masquerade 2 on your list, and that's again kind of in that same vein. Or like Deus Ex is also kind of that genre. So
Yeah,
I
but
think
like
there's just a taste for it.
yeah, but like Vampire, like they didn't say, the studio didn't say, oh, we made a demo, and they made a worse looking demo, and it's like, what? What happened?
Well, I think they couldn't quite the original proof of concept. I don't think they could quite accomplish properly once they were trying to make a real game out of it.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be on Unity, and then they switched to Unreal Engine 4, and it's like, I could have told you ahead of time that Unity would not be able to do this correctly. Like, you didn't need to do this.
It was a much smaller scale project then.
Yeah, because it was originally supposed to be like a 1-to-1 remake of it. And now, like, oh, we're adding a bunch more shit, and it's like, well, all right. I don't think people necessarily wanted it or needed that, but
I mean, I would have been happy with a 1-to-1 remake, but I think it's really come a long way.
Yeah.
All right, so Randy, what about your dreams?
Yeah, I'm excited for Dreams. I was a big fan of the Little Big Planet series, and the developer levels were good enough, but especially if you go back like a year later, the things that people were able to create is ridiculous. So now you take that and you just scale it to 100, and you can build even more, and it's more of a 3D environment, not just 2D stuff. And I'm super excited to see what people can create in it. It's not going to be a game that I buy on launch, even though it's kind of right before the craziness really starts happening in 2020. But it's one of those probably games I'll get during the summer that you can really just start messing around with. And it'll be interesting to see what people do in like 6 to 8 months and are really able to use their imagination and creativity and just create great little side games.
So is this out right now in a limited form?
Yeah, you can buy into it's like early release on PS4. I mean, you can just buy it. I think they're like taking it off soon though.
Okay, so it's like a beta kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like once it comes out fully, you'll have the full thing. So
right, story mode, probably lots of extra things to make stuff with.
Yeah, I mean, I played the beta like a few months ago. It was pretty fun. I mean, it was early then, but it was enjoyable.
Cool. Randy, have you tried it yet in any form?
No, I have not yet. I'm waiting.
Very cool.
Yep. Well, my number 9 is, like you said earlier, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's good.
Yeah.
The first one was a little janky, but it was fun.
Oh, first Vampire the Masquerade is fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this is, I'm hoping for something like, what Deus Ex Human Revolution did for Deus Ex, that this could do for Vampire the Masquerade, kind of bring it back.
As opposed to Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, hoping it'll be a good one of those.
Yeah, it looked a lot more supernatural. Like, actually, that's one of the first few things. One of the things I liked with the first one is very not rooted in like reality, or it didn't have a ton of supernatural stuff going on in it.
Except for the fact that it's vampires.
Yeah,
vampires
but there's no like this one looked a little too crazy almost. Like you're like flying through the air and shit like that. Like that wasn't in the first game.
Yeah, but isn't that if you've played the West End games, right? There's a pen and paper Vampire the Masquerade that this is all derived from. That's all in there.
No.
No?
I don't play pen and paper RPGs.
Right.
But also
yeah,
it helped go on.
No, please.
I was gonna say this hope like the what we do in the shadows vampires have a cameo somewhere.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cute.
Yeah.
Randy or Sean, any opinions about Vampire the Masquerade? Do you ever play that?
I haven't played it.
It's very Deus Ex. Like if you've played Deus Ex, it's Deus Ex with vampires.
Don't use that as your example.
Well,
I'm not a Deus Ex fan, so
it uses the Half-Life 2 engine. Like it was, I think it was like the first Source engine game actually.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I think like the first one takes place in like LA, so it's not supernatural or anything like that. Like you're going around like city streets and like sucking homeless people's blood in like alleyways and crap like that. You can also like totally mesmerize people. That's pretty fun.
Yep, sucking homeless people, your favorite.
Oh, God.
Alrighty.
Well, I had bought it actually, but Marc told me that it has no gamepad support and other issues or whatever on PC. So.
Yeah, it's too early. Of course, it came out in 2004.
There's a lot of good fan-made patches for Vampire, though.
Yeah, I mean, you might find
up-resing the graphics, putting gamepad support in. It's all there if you want to mod it.
Okay. Well, maybe
it's got a dedicated base of people who improve it.
Yeah, like when the game first originally came out, it was kind of unfinished. Like a lot of RPGs of that era.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe one of these days. Maybe they'll do some kind of putting in the first one with the second one or something.
Well, the first one's like dirt cheap nowadays. Like it's not like, and they're not gonna like another company made it, so I assume the rights are like held up somehow.
Well, that stinks.
Yeah.
Well, Randy is the only one that has Marvel's Avengers on.
Yeah, I don't get the hate. I think it'll be good.
It looks bad. Every trailer they've shown is
Exactly, it looks bad.
The free-to-play model is terrible. Because it all looks like narrow corridor crawls where you're just beating up people.
That's what you're going to do in the Avengers game. That's what you do in the Ultimate Alliance game, is just beat people up. I'm interested in it. It's not going to be anywhere near my game of the year, I'm sure. But, I mean, my whole family is huge into the Marvel Universe, so I'm worth giving it a shot. I think it'd be just like turn your brain off, goofy fun at this point. I don't think it's going to be a crazy story, though. I know they're trying to make it serious with Captain America dying and all this stuff, and trying to make it serious. I'm not going to play it for the story. I think it'll just be a good family game. Hopefully, a good multiplayer in it.
I think I'm more on Randy's side. I think it looks perfectly fine, and I'll play it. I'm 100% sure it'll be better than Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. 100%.
Well, I completely forgot about that E3 presentation when they interviewed the voice actors for like 8 minutes for no goddamn good reason.
Well, I could kind of see it because they are kind of all well-known video game voice actors, so maybe they thought it was going to get attention.
I mean, they do have voice actor God and voice actor Jesus in the game, so they have to talk to him.
Yeah, but they're in half the games already, so what does it matter?
Yes, I know.
Sure. Well, Doom Eternal is coming out. Yeah.
Why did it? I'm glad. I'm one of those people that has no problem with games getting delayed, because I would rather a game come out good than need many patches to make good later on. But why do they have to delay it right into the middle of the craziness that comes out in 2020? Like, this was going to be my game to play after I was done with Death Stranding.
Because Bethesda never cares about release dates. Come on.
I know, but it's fine. But at least
fair,
usually they come out with crappy games.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't care about quality either anymore.
Yeah, so I'm cool with them pushing it back. I'm excited for it. I haven't played all of the last Doom, but what I played was fantastic. So I would like more of that.
Didn't you not like it, Jens? Or
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan.
I got to level 5 or 6, and I was like, yeah, this is all right, but this is already kind of boring me. Like,
I did not like the focus on melee finishers.
Yeah.
It didn't feel very Doom to me. And then the other parts of it that did feel very Doom to me, which is the hunting for key cards and the labyrinthine nature of it, that part is like, okay, I didn't really want to go back to this. But I wouldn't say it's a bad game. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. It's like, this is serviceable, but not for me. Yeah.
What about Watch Dogs Legion?
Ugh.
What?
Yeah.
No.
The first game sucked, but the Watch Dogs 2 was pretty good.
Okay, I didn't play 2 because I just hated Watch Dogs so much that I wrote that series off.
Yeah, well, Watch Dogs 2 fixes the problem of having the worst main character ever in a game.
Okay, well, that helps.
Yeah. The story in Watch Dogs 1 wasn't great. I like the gameplay in it. I mean, it was a knockoff, Grand Theft Auto, of course. Right? Like, it wasn't fantastic. I haven't played 2 yet, but
2 they really went up the gameplay. Like, it's really a lot of fun in that.
But this new one just looks so over the top crazy. I'm building a whole team of crazy grandmas. I don't know about you guys, and unlike Doom Eternal getting pushed back, I'm just so happy that Watch Dogs 3 got pushed back. So it'll be something to play hopefully summer or fall time.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. My backlog is always so crazy that I don't give a damn when things come out.
That's right.
I play them when they come out, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm still kind of sad that we did our top 25 before Christmas, because Christmas time was my time to start playing things. I mean, you guys would have never had it on the list, but I just finally started playing that ukulele impossible layer game. That thing's fantastic. I was like, it would have been on my list so easy. And I'm like, oh, we already did it. That's fine.
So, you're a fan of ukulele, but not Bloodstained.
No.
I haven't played Bloodstained yet. That's another game I want to.
No, I should rephrase. Someone gave you ukulele, not Bloodstained, and that's what you decided to play.
My understanding is that Impossible Lair is a huge step up over original ukulele. So
yeah,
the original ukulele was too.
It would have to be.
Listen, no, ukulele was great, but it was too married to the original, like Banjo-Kazooie games, and games have grown up past that. So it was like playing a game from 1997 with the same mechanics, the same everything. It was a little bit too much like it. I don't think they upgraded it enough. The Impossible Lair, from when I played it, is the gameplay is a lot like the old Donkey Kong Countries and stuff, but they've upgraded things and they've made it better. So yes, I understand why people didn't like ukulele, but this other one is great, and I still want to play Bloodstained, but I'll get around to it.
That's your next assignment.
There you go. That's your more holiday gaming time ready. Yeah, play Bloodstained.
But anyways, but Watch Dogs 3 looks fantastic, and I love the variety of characters you can play in it. And I enjoy the gameplay of the first Watch Dogs, so I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I didn't like the hacking. I didn't like the way the handling. The stealth was actually pretty good, but the stealth was basically Splinter Cell Conviction. So it's like here's the section that's like Splinter Cell Conviction, and then when it's over, you've got to go back to the bad stuff. I don't know. It wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, like the gameplay, it was passable, but it was like the problem was like that stupid main character, like he was the one who he was the one who ultimately got his nephew killed, and he took no responsibility for it. He just blamed everyone else, And it's like, well, you're the one who robbed the criminal that caused the criminal to, get revenge on you. So what do you want?
I don't remember shit about the story because it was so completely unmemorable to me. But I guess that, like, Watch Dogs 2 was supposedly a lot better, so I don't know, maybe Legion will be really great. I just don't know.
Well, that's my concern about 3 is, like, how do you have a game where you don't have a main character?
Yeah, I'm just generally burned out on Ubisoft open world stuff.
They didn't really have a main character in the first one, so they went fine. You make your own main character.
They just had a bad one. There's a difference.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to quickly talk about No More Heroes 3.
Yes.
I love the other No More Heroes games, except for the thing on the Switch this year. That was...
It came to multiple systems.
Well, whatever. I wasn't a big fan of the minigames thing. The thing is, it kind of sucks as it apparently ties into 3, so... But hey,
all the No More Heroes games have terrible minigames in them. Like, that's kind of the thing.
I know, but I'm fine if it's like in a normal game, but not when it's like that is the game.
Gotcha. You want to see Travis Touchdown beat off with his beam saber in full HD glory, a little top down version of him.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad that we're getting a No More Heroes 3 because I was hoping that's what it was leading to. So hey, if that had to happen for that to happen, that's the most important part. So yes, I'm glad that's happening. And yeah, so Neo 2, Jens, Stephanie reviewed the first one for the site and she loved the crap out of it because it's Dark Souls but it's samurai stuff.
Well, it's Dark Souls, but Ninja Theory kind of combat, and it's got it's Dark Souls, but hey, how about 5 different stances and a million different weapons and skills and an insane upgrade system and tons of loot and just like all this stuff that. Okay, so like the core of it, I still enjoy Dark Souls better. I think Dark Souls has like better level design, better art direction, that sort of thing. But like Neo really, as far as the combat goes, Neo is pretty unmatched. It's one of the best playing games ever, and it seems like Neo 2 is just more Neo. It's like more weapons, more skills, more everything. Also, more difficult, but we'll see where that goes. The beta has been absolutely wrecking me, so I'm a little scared of it too, but I'm still looking forward to it. And yeah, as I platinumed original Neo and loved every second of it, so I'm ready for more.
Well, Mark, I know you're waiting for Axiom Verge 2.
Yeah, that trailer looked pretty good because the first one, it was neat, but a lot of it was just in cave systems and like sci-fi crap. So this one looks a lot more outdoorsy and full, or a lot more, has better width to it. Yeah, first game was cool. I'm excited for this one because this will probably be like the only good Metroidvania in this year, unless I'm on Shadow Complex 2.
Jeez, don't give them any kind of hope that a bunch of indies will make, Metroidvania. So we haven't seen those every freaking year this year.
I'm sure like Ori will be fine, but that's not quite the same thing. It's a lot more combat focused.
Well, you mentioned it. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is coming, and the first one was such a fantastic game. Yes, it was difficult, but yes, it was like such a neat little story, and the characters. I love those characters too. It just, this starts that whole like, hey, Microsoft's got studios again thing, and why not? I think it's going to be a big hit, like the first one was, and I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The first one was so colorful and beautiful, and the gameplay was so tight. I absolutely loved it from start to finish. I'm ready for a second one.
Well, I think another one that we all kind of are sort of excited for, Ghost of Tsushima. We've seen, trailers and teasers and everything else. So they showed quite a bit at the Game Awards. Who the ghost is, at least. I love the fact that looks like it's going to be open world. There's no HUD, is what they're saying. No waypoints, so you're not going to know where you're going. Hopefully they make it an option where you do, because, I don't have time to be lost, really.
It could work. Like Breath of the Wild made it work, right? So if they fill it with enough stuff where you're always encountering interesting things and you can kind of pathfind based on landmarks, then if they really pull that off, then I love the idea of the no HUD, no map, no fast travel, like the extreme immersion could be really great.
Well, I had to eventually buy a guide for Breath of the Wild because I got tired of wondering what I was supposed to do. So
that's the danger of this, then. Yeah.
That Ghost game reminds me I assume Jens might have played it. Remember Tenchu Stealth Assassin?
Yes. Well, Tenchu.
It reminds me of that, but good.
I think Tenchu was good for its time. It would be impossible.
I'm being a little critical. Like Tenchu, the problem with Tenchu was it was on PS1 and everything was at night and you can only see 8 feet in front of you. But the whole stabbing people from jumping on top of them or having a bunch of items to do stuff with.
When you're in a confined space, it definitely has that kind of Tenchu vibe. But I also, the open world it looks beautiful. This is exactly, it's like you're custom making a game for me. I love samurai. I love melee games. I love third-person combat games. So it's kind of everything I want. I'm really hoping that it'll deliver on its promises.
Yeah.
Well, another big game that everybody's waiting for, of course, the next thing from CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077. Go ahead, Mark. What do you think?
Looks good. I tend to like sci-fi more than fantasy, so this will probably be way up my alley.
Again, it's based on a pen and paper I used to play, so I already care about the world.
Yeah, but everything is according to you.
No, it's just this happens to be that's like a trend for 2020 is like adaptations of old pen and paper properties, which I love because they translate well, I think, into video games.
Randy, are you excited for this at all?
I'm a little excited. Haley's way more excited. This is going to be her game to play for sure. This would be probably one that I watch more than play.
Yeah, I think the only problem, the foreseeable problem, is I think it's going to run really bad on these consoles.
Yeah, if you have a base PS4 and base Xbox One, yeah.
Like,
if Control was doing a number on consoles, I can't imagine what this is going to do.
I imagine they'll make the PS5 and Xbox 8000 whatever version they're making. So I imagine it looks better than that or play better. But yeah, it looks good.
So your thing is get it on PC?
Yeah, if it can. If it comes to Steam, let's say that. I think it already is on Steam. It stays on Steam.
It's a freaking launcher. It's all right.
That's unnecessary.
I have both of them. It's not hurting my PC if I have
I already have 4 launchers. How many more should I feel the need to install?
A 5th one. It'll be all right.
6 more.
So, Jens, I'm a huge Psychonauts guy. So
yes,
I've been
too.
waiting forever for Psychonauts 2. And man, if it really comes out, I'm going to be stoked. It's going to be one of my favorite games to play this year.
Totally. I've been a Tim Schafer fan pretty much since he started making games. So, and Psychonauts 2 had just absolutely brilliant level designs, great puzzles, great platforming. The art direction was out of this world. So if they can do it again, I just want more minds to explore, more psychoses to solve for people.
I just hope it's not a snow job like Brutal Legend was.
You mean where it turns out to be a different genre than you expected?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
as As you know, I liked the strategy in Brutal Legends, so
you're the one.
I didn't mind it. It got boring after a while. Like, it was like, I wanted to go back to the action.
They were always introducing new units and new mechanics and things. Like, even by the end, like it got pretty challenging. It didn't really.
No, I agree. It got
really
harder. I was just kind of like, oh, I liked it when it was the other game a little bit more. Like, it
for the first
fit with
hour.
that.
It fit. Ocarina of Time and not this bullshit where it is.
Yeah, it fit that setting a lot more.
I don't know. I mean, I love third-person action games, but there are a lot of them, so I'm totally fine with them doing something else for it. But yeah, I can understand if you're drawn in by the art style and the concept, and then disappointed that it's not the game you wanted. But I still thought it was a great game. Anyway, Marc will bring it up all the time because he knows that I'm an outlier on it. So
yeah, but Psychonauts is something everyone can enjoy and should enjoy. So Psychonauts 2 should also be good.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy, are you a Psychonauts person?
No, I haven't played it.
But you, as a
should.
banjo fan, as a ukulele fan, you like 3D platformers. That's like one of the greats.
I know.
Yeah.
You know how many video games have come out in my lifetime?
That's why he hasn't played it, because it's a good one of those, not a bad one.
Oh, come on now. That's me.
Marc very likes Conquer.
No, I distinctly do not like Conquer.
Okay, we're friends again. That's okay.
I made fun of the guy who used to always mention it on a podcast a while ago. What the hell are you talking about?
Robert. Yeah, that was the fight forever of Conquer. So, Super Meat Boy Forever, speaking of.
Yes.
You think it finally comes out?
I don't know. I put on my list hopeful. I'm a fan of the speed running stuff and watching their charity events. And Super Meat Boy Forever always is a sponsor for those things, and it feels like it's been doing it for the last 4 years. And you're just, it's going to come out, and I always forget about it, and then the next charity event will show up and it'll pop back up. I'm like, come on! I'm hoping it comes out this year, and if it does, I'm going to play the hell out of it.
Well, I am certainly. I mean, I already love the Yakuza games. I haven't gotten to play them as much as Marc, but knowing that there's going to be an RPG Yakuza, count me down for that.
It looks great, I think.
So everything about it looks great, except I am concerned. Like, even, man, the summons are hilarious. There are a lot of things about turning Yakuza into an RPG that are very funny, but I'm just concerned that it'll get tedious. They'll have to scale the encounters way down. Like, if every time, like, if there's as many encounters as there are in a normal Yakuza game, and every time I have to go into a little, Dragon Quest style turn-based RPG thing, I think it'll drive me crazy. So I hope that they compensate for that.
I mean, it's the same amount of battles as Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back to original Final Fantasy VII either for that reason, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I like in modern Dragon Quest when you can skip that stuff.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you can avoid encounters in Yakuza as well. You just run away.
That's true. Or you get the belt where people leave you alone or whatever. So I know, but I just feel like how much grind is there going to be? That's my biggest concern with it.
Oh my god, I can't wait till there's the runaway animation that's going to play when you get the runaway. That's going to be hilarious.
I do like the new protagonist.
Yeah.
And,
that game's, cool. I think, due out next month in Japan, so I'll be curious about what the reviews say for it.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. Sorry, Sean, I cut you off. You're making a different point.
No, it's fine. I just, knowing how that game is, I can already see the hilarity that they're going to have when you decide to run away. They're probably going to have, so many different, the guys saying stuff to you while you do it or whatever. That's going to be great.
I fully expect the crazy freeze frame poses when you're doing that, where it's like you're mid-run or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, really quick for me, Bravely Default 2 got announced at the Game Awards, and I'm supremely excited because I love the Bravely series. Don't know exactly where this is going to fit in the Bravely series, but I guess we'll find that out as we get further along. and just seeing them on the Switch and all that in those graphics and everything, you get more of that gameplay. Totally down for that. Don't know if you're a fan of them or not, Jens.
I love the soundtrack. I'm a huge fan of the soundtrack by what's it called? Linked Horizon or whatever the band is called.
Mm-hmm.
That did it. I listen to it all the time, but I never finished the game. I got burned out on it, I think, before I finished it. So at some point I need to go back to it. It's still sitting, or it was sitting on my shelf at least until I had to box up my whole collection. So.
Well, we talked about the changes, but Resident Evil 3 Remake, sure, we're kind of all excited for it in a way.
Except for Jens.
I never played the original. I haven't played Resident Evil 2 Remake yet either, so
yeah.
At some point I need to. I do like Resident Evil, so I kind of started that series with 4.
You like the bad ones. That's why we're going to play Resident Evil 6.
I love 6. 6 is great.
Oh
yeah. My God. Okay, there we went somewhere there.
See, I'm not the only one.
You'll know soon enough, Mark. We'll play it in co-op.
4 killed the series.
Really?
4 didn't kill the series. It just turned into a different game.
Series, right?
Yeah, exactly. It made it different.
Is this like my earlier rant about Telltale?
Yes, exactly. I was just about to bring it up.
Basically,
it changed the format completely, and I loved 4. 4 is a fantastic game. It is the reason why we got Resident Evil 6. So,
did you guys actually play 6? Because as just a third-person shooter with a lot of spectacle and amusing dumb stuff, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I played 6. I did not get very far at 6 because I don't want the action as much in my Resident Evils. But I'm also somebody that had no problem with tank controls. I was totally fine with that. I would think it worked really well with the original Resident Evils. I'm glad they got rid of them with the way they've been able to change things. So, again, I love 4. I'm not going to say it's a bad game, but it's what made Resident Evil go down. That and the movie series, because a lot of the Resident Evils then try to shoehorn some of that crap in there. But no, Resident Evil 3 Remake, I'm super stoked about. It's still really weird that it's even happening, and that we got the remake to 2, and all of this is happening so fast. I'm a little disappointed that we did not get both of them at the same time as originally planned.
Yeah, but compare that to when the first Resident Evil remake came out. That was 2002.
And it was so good.
That was
well, they were being made at the same time, so it kind of makes sense.
Come on. Yeah.
But yes, so to have these two come out so quick to each other, because they almost came out as one game. I know that they put extra love into it, and I'm stoked.
I'd really like to think that if you have both those games on the same console or account, you can play as Knuckles in Resident Evil 3.
Oh, God. All right, moving on. You think Bayonetta 3 is going to come out, Jens?
I mean, why wouldn't it? 2 came out.
No, I'm talking about this year.
I think you meant this year. But I mean, I have an Amazon order for this, so it's December 31st, 2020. So.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to come out.
I think
this coming year. If not, I'm just going to replace it with Persona 5 Royal. But you guys all know how I feel about Bayonetta. It's one of my favorite series. So I loved 1, loved 2. I fully expect Bayonetta 3 to be a masterpiece, just like its predecessors. So hopefully it'll come out.
Do you think we get the Metroid Prime trilogy this year on Switch?
Don't care.
I would say no, because they probably would have announced it already. We're just being assholes.
Wasn't there an announcement? Wasn't there something about it?
No, they announced 4.
Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's just some stealth drop that it's
I mean, like I said, you're remastering Xenoblade Chronicles and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Why the hell are you not remastering the trilogy?
Because Metroid Prime 3 didn't require motion controls.
Yeah, but the Switch can do those.
Yeah, in handheld mode, not in docked. And the motion controls in most Switch games are bad. Or all motion controls are bad, I should say. Sorry.
Well, there you go. Persona 5. It's getting 2 games this year. Persona 5
Royal. The games of the year.
And, well, you don't like warrior games, so Persona 5 Scramble.
I will allow it in this one case because it doesn't look like an actual like Dynasty Warriors game. It actually looks good.
It also is greatly expanding on the formula. Like, not since Pirate Warriors 2 have I been this excited about one of them. Like, it's really...
it has platforming, and you can do a bunch of other like weird shit in it. So like,
it has a serious story with like cutscenes and a lot of the new settings.
Yeah,
the cutscenes look fantastic, but also the ability, like everything about the summon. Like, you know, you can summon your personas obviously in combat, and that stuff looks amazing. The combo system looks great.
All the characters like play vastly different from one another.
Yeah, that's where the Pirate Warriors 2. That's, you know, I'm not the hugest One Piece fan, but those One Piece games stand out to me in the Musou genre because the characters are so strongly differentiated from each other.
Well, yeah,
so
Pirate Warriors 4 is coming, so
yeah. I'm excited for that one too.
Me too.
but like, this really seems like, okay, this is not a half-assed Musou. This is we're putting the A-team on it. We're going out of our way to have extra value and to really polish that you don't get from all of them. So seems like one of the best one of those.
My problem with most of those games, it's like you have a huge map, and it's like, okay, I'm defending room B or area B, but all the enemies are attacking in area F, so I have to go across this halfway across the map, defeat them, and then they're like, oh, people are attacking in room H now. Go over there. I'm like, no, have someone else do it. I'm tired.
Also, there also seems like there's going to be a lot of great fan service.
Yeah.
You know, there's the beach stuff. There were some very compelling bikini shots in that trailer.
That's Royal, isn't it? Or
was that Royal? Gosh,
yeah.
now I'm mixing them up.
Because Royal had the teacher in the bikini.
Oh, you're right. But yeah, they're both of them, man. I love Persona 5 so much, and I love those characters so much that getting more of them in any form.
So you join Randy in his appreciation of Persona 5.
What does that mean?
He's a big fan.
No, I just haven't. I wasn't able to get into it.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, Randy.
I don't think it's bad. I put it. It's on PlayStation now. I have like 3 or 4 hours into it, and the story has made my head hurt.
I mean, you don't like. You mentioned to me numerous times you don't like long games, so it's like, well.
I don't. I'm not saying I don't like long games. I have 2 kids.
What's making your head hurt?
I'm in the dungeon with the gym teacher, and he's in his underwear, and I don't know. It's weird. It's just. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just really strange.
I mean, it's tackling some very topical issues with this very problematic guy who's abusing his position, and
if you don't like the game, you could always send you the anime show.
Yeah, the anime will tell you the whole story.
Honestly, the only thing I had a problem with the first few hours is it won't stop holding my hand. Like, I would just like to play the game, but I feel like every 20 seconds I'm getting a new tutorial about something, or hey, do you remember how to attack?
I'll get out of those.
Yeah, the first dungeon is very much like that, at least initially. But after you get, I think at least Anne as a character, like your 4th party member. That's like when the game basically opens up and says, "All right, go do it."
And I've been wanting to get back to it. I just haven't been able to sit down and play a bunch.
Well, no, trust me. Once it doesn't hold your hand anymore, you're gonna be sitting there going, well, how do I know if I'm doing the right thing? Because there's so many things you can do in one day, and you pick this or you pick that. I'm
sure I'll get lost, and it's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. And for people to enjoy it, I don't. The only thing that I got on it was when we're doing our list for Game of the Year. I had to put down a Persona game every year from somebody. I was like, how many of these are there? But other than that, it's fine. It's just the story was very Atlas, and it is what it is. And I always found it funny that a video game was like the gym teacher is the devil.
He's a minor bad guy in that game, actually.
But he's the devil in this case in a very real, uncomfortable way.
And I agree. It was very, very.
the thing I love about this, and the thing that kind of sets it apart from other Personas, is that it is kind of very politically woke in a way that relates to Japanese politics, which I find fascinating.
Which is different from what you would get with Japanese politics. So
yeah, like there's a lot of like digs at Shinzo Abe in this game. There's that socialist politician character. There's like a lot of stuff, and just generally the fact that it tackles things like sexual harassment and stuff.
Like it totally has a message and wants you to know, and they're not going to back down.
Right, but I thought it was fascinating culturally in a way that Persona 4 also is, but Persona 4 it's more because of the small town kind of setting, whereas here it's everything is kind of on a grander scale. I would recommend against the anime. Actually, I did not like the anime. So I would say play the game. Because the anime does just truncate things to the point where they're dumb sometimes.
Well, I mean, they have to try to get a huge-ass story in like 25 episodes. I mean, that's hard.
I know, but it's so rushed. It's rushed in the way that the Persona 4 anime wasn't. And like the Persona 3 has the 4 anime movies, which work really well.
Yeah.
So I just find like 5 it's like swing and a miss to me, that one.
Well, last game that we're going to talk about here, Last of Us Part 2.
It's a real game of the year.
It'll be for most people, I'm sure. I loved Last of Us, but I don't know if I need a sequel. Like, I thought it was such a perfect self-contained thing with such a perfect ending that I would love for them to just leave it alone.
Yeah, I don't think I can disagree with you. I really felt when the first one ended that they didn't need more. But with what they're doing with it, I'm okay with it. It's not just the same story. But from what it's looking like, it's not going to be just more of Ellie and Joel. It feels like it's more of a growing up tale with Ellie, which I think is a fantastic way to go with it. I still feel like Joel's going to die in this game, and I'm going to cry like a baby. And I feel like it's going to be exactly like the first one, where I have always said that The Last of Us is the greatest game I never want to play again. Because I don't know if my heart can replay that game.
I think I played it twice. I played it like the first time on PS3, and then I played it when I got my PS4 because it came with it.
Yeah, and I will. I mean, I'm gonna replay it before it comes out just to get going. But it's one of those games where, because the story is so powerful and there's so many heart-wrenching moments in that game, that I remember specifically just stopping after certain points. Like, okay, all right, Naughty Dog, you win. I need a break. And it's just one of those, I worry that the more I play it, the less impactful that stuff will be. And I'll be the first to admit the gameplay is not 100% perfect. So then when you're just focusing in on the gameplay, I mean, it's still a great game. But to me, what made The Last of Us so fantastic was that story. And I don't need to do it again. I've lived it, and I absolutely appreciate it. And I'm so excited to see what they do with the second one with the better engine in the PlayStation 4 and focusing on Ellie and changing the combat a little bit where it's more action based and she can jump and leap over things where Joe was a little older and couldn't really do that stuff. So I'm so excited for this one.
I hope they let you keep Ellie's unbreakable knife.
I just want more bow play. I love the bow sections in that game as far as the combat goes.
I thought you were going to say you wanted more banjo music.
I mean, that too. I wonder if they're going to get Santoala again. I mean, he's an Oscar-winning composer. That was kind of an interesting get for the music in Last of Us.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting how that game is going to play out. It's going to be one of the biggest ones of the year. They delayed it till May to polish it even more, and obviously, helps to get it out of the muck that was March as well. So it kind of has more of its be on its own and get appreciated more. So that'll help. But yeah, I mean, it just tells you that we've got so much to look forward to. And again, as I mentioned at the top, you got the new consoles coming holiday 2020, and then you got whole slew of games that we don't even know nothing about. Nintendo still has to do their Direct in January, and that's without even mentioning Animal Crossing, which we know that's coming, but you know, so yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff gonna be coming down the pike in 2020, and yeah, we'll be back sometime this week. Well, for sure, sometime this week to keep doing the best in the decade, which again, you can hear us discuss our best games of 2010, 2011, 2012, and hopefully we'll get to do 3 more by the time the weekend is over, if not more than that. And yeah, until next time, for Marc, Jens, Randy, and myself, we'll see you later, everybody.